O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everyone. Basil Chapman sitting in for Tommy O'Brien. This is the Tom O'Brien Show. I usually do 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Tiger Technicians Hour. And my service here is the newsletter, the opening call. And we started a short position because this market is really very shaky right now. Okay, let's get to this. The Dow is down 295 at 47,041. I have a left side, right side price time match that says that there's a chance that the Dow, if it's weak by the end of the day and a week tomorrow, could get to the 47,000. No, I'm gonna go back to the first one, 46,811 level. That would be within 2 days. If this is going to continue as weakness and there is no bounce, election day bounce, I don't know if we can call it that after election, we'll see what happens. All right, the S&P right now is trading at 6774.33, down 77. I can make a better case for this, that this is some kind of a top of 6920.34 on the 29th of October with the dreaded H. That's a pattern that I talk about very often. I'll just show you some of these patterns real quickly because a lot of us base my methodology on that. Three major directional moves: straight up, straight down, that's one; cup formation, that's two; arch formation, that's three; a mix of 1 and 2 or 1 and 3; the dreaded H, where it goes down sharply, rallies, fails at a peak A or a B, and then takes out the left side low. That's usually, you can go 1-to-1 to the downside. That's usually the technique that says, oh, be very careful. And that's exactly what we've got right here with the S&P making the 6,811 green 9-period moving average, the strong resistance to overpower, just to go above tomorrow to save the day. Let's go to the QQQ. We're looking at the Qs down 12 at 620.07. It's the same thing. I can call it a peak C1, C2 in the Chapman. Don't have to get into that right now, other than to say it hasn't got to a sell signal yet, but there's this arch formation, that little H pattern that we were looking at. Took it out. We're at almost the low of the day on the 14-period exponential moving average. But that 9, like all of these indices, the 9 over the 14 is still extremely powerful. So it's going to take a really sharp, persistent drop for us to keep going down. We'll go through the VIX in a moment. IWM, the Russell 2000, we're looking at minus 366 at 241.77. There's that same pattern we were talking about. There's that H pattern, and it didn't take out the left side low today, but if tomorrow it goes under 240, let's call it 239. A move under 239 in the next day or two would say, there's a problem, and we could retest the low of the 10th of October of 237.56. It's got to have at least a pretty decent bounce from here to kind of save the day. Let's go to the SMHs, the semiconductors. Semiconductors, there's that dreaded H pattern, but this is very unusual. I can't call this anything but a peak C. There's a chance in the end I'm going to have to call this 372.78 peak C1, and then the lower high at 370, just under 370 as peak C2. I don't like doing that, but I might be forced to do it. There's still strength here, but it is down today, 11.5 at 354.73. You've got NVIDIA finally taking a bit of a dive, down 7, down a $200 stock down 7 is not taking a bit of a dive, but it is for this stock because it hasn't had a move to the downside like this since the middle of October when it hit 195 and dived to 179. Let's go to the bonds. Bonds right now are trading up 930 seconds. I'll go to the TLT. You'll see it a little bit better here. TLT made a double top at 92.19 and then 92.18 a week later and came tumbling down. And the yields did exactly the opposite. They took a dive and went to the 31.17 low of the first week of April, screamed up to the 39 level, and then they came down to 31.69 3 weeks ago, and they're now trying to rally. So that means that yields, instead of coming down, are bouncing off the 200-period moving average. A little bit of a double bottom there. What am I missing? I'm missing high-grade copper. Took a dive today, down 13 cents at 4.93. Did that. Oh, the VIX index. So this is going to be very interesting. Remember, we were watching this closely. The VIX index has been moving up, peak A and peak B. I don't necessarily do Chapman wave methodology with the VIX. It's something, it's an emotional thing, so it has its own rhythm. But look at the sharpness of the move. But the 28.99 high of the 17th of October, that was the regional bank scare. That's way up there at the 28 level. But we are, in fact, at 18.76, up $1.59. I'm watching this. At any time this week, if the volatility index starts to trade above 21.50, and the Dow is down triple digit, the S&P is down, I'd say probably 80 or more, I think then we're looking at a concerted effort to the downside that should take a good few weeks to resolve. In the meantime, I said I'd do this quickly. Look at this before we go to the break. Apple is trading down. Now it's up 91 cents to 269.96. It's actually holding pretty well. If you look at Amazon came out with earnings and skyrocketed to the upside, went to 258.60. It's pulling back, making a peak C right now after hitting an all-time high. Usually you don't fail at a peak C. You go to a D. I'm watching this closely because if Amazon this week starts to take out 245 support, that is a problem. Let's go to Netflix. Netflix trading right now at minus 11 at 1,088. You know that it made a round number, 120. 1267.10 was the high back in early September, but that day it also had a 1260 round number open, pulls back, retests with a 1267.00 4 days later, and that was it. And here it is way down in the 1,080 area. That's a bit of a problem. Let's go to Goog. Googie is trading right now. Google is also at a peak C. I don't know if I can give it alternate counts, but it is down 278, down 6, having made just a week ago a 291.93 all-time high. We want to go to Microsoft. It was acting poorly. Then what did it do? It ran sharply. It went to the 555.45 was the high 1st of August. Comes tumbling down and then screws back up. It goes to 553.70, and then it has a round number open of 550 on the 28th of October. Whoosh, here it is down at 510. I want you to get to Robinhood. Robinhood trading down 9 at 137.90. It had 153.86 high on the 6th of October with 153 round number open, comes tumbling down to 120, goes back to 150 3 days ago, pulling back. So we've got a little bit of a problem here. I'll be back to Palantir as well. I'll be back straight off. This is Basil Chapman sitting for Tommy O'Brien. Be right back in a few